to Arizona, as we were just talking about in the open. It's time to crank it up. The NHL season is getting started. Everyone now has been in action. Of course, Face-Off 2014, and we are here in Glendale at the Gila River Arena. The matchup in goal. A little bit of a change. Of course, we're not surprised to see Jonathan Quick back, but Devan Dubnyk, who was picked up in the offseason, he'll be the guy for the Arizona Coyotes. The officials for tonight's game. Wes McCauley is the referee. He'll be joined by Francois Saint-Laurent on the lines, Mark Wheeler and Brad Lazarowicz. And coming up, he is a Hockey Hall of Famer, year number 42, Mr. Bob Miller.
All right, Jim, thank you. A high shot that's gloved right off the bat there by the King goaltender, Jonathan Quick. Nice to have you back here for your 25th year, and let's hope it ends the same way as the two of the last three have ended.
I could do that. I was just thinking I only have 17 more years to catch up. I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, I think it might.
I'm not going to be around that long. Maybe you.
Martin Hanzal on the draw for the Coyotes in the King zone. He wins the draw, back in a shot, and it's just deflected wide and off the boards and out of play.
Cleanly one draw right there, and it's right back to Yandel. He rips the wrist shot, elects to go with the wrist shot, and just going by it, or with the glove, was Jonathan Quick. There's Keith Yandel. Sean O'Donnell talked about him in the pregame show, and he's that type of guy. He can be risk-reward. He has been learning how to play a little bit more solid defense, but bottom line, a lot of times he just has the puck. The new NHL possessed the puck. When he's got it, the other team doesn't.
Yandel leading the team in assists and points last year, one of the few defensemen in the NHL to lead their team in scoring. And a face-off now to the right of Jonathan Quick, and Hanzal wins the draw to Yandel again. He shoots, and a save by Quick.
That's two in a row, Bob. Cleanly one face-off, so you don't have to take a lot of time. Hyundai keys to the game. The goaltenders, well, it's Quick for the Kings. It's Dubnyk. That's what's going to go on here for the Coyotes. Emotion, can the Kings ramp it up? Special teams. Early in the season, you want to see who's sharp. Can they move it around? Are you in the right position? On the power play, right there, though, Jared Stoll gets a draw. He wins it. The Coyotes, though, going after loose puck.
Kings get to it, however, and send it around the left side. King scratches tonight. Jake Muzzin, Andy Andrioff, and Trevor Lewis. Coyotes send it back into the King zone and back in to get it. Robin Regehr picks it up and sends it around the left side. We're going to see probably a little different line combination for the Kings tonight. Here's Kopitar across the line, batted away and back to the King blue line and taken there. And the Kings, Regehr gets it up to Kopitar. Kopitar for 7 straight years has led the Kings in scoring. Puck is in deep in the Arizona zone and taken now down in deep by Bodker. Bodker moves it around the boards, and it is chipped but not out yet. And now at the left point, the Kings hold it in. Gabrick tried to get it to Williams, taken away there, and then chipped to the point and held in again, this time by Kopitar. Kopitar to Williams. His pass right side, back in front. Kopitar, and it's tipped up high and out of play. So a face-off coming up with a minute 15 gone here in the first period.
Well, the last end zone face-off, Bob. You keep an eye on the right-hand side. Look at that spacing there. Again, the hash marks, a different rule this year, almost double what they were in the past. So it's going to work a couple ways. If you win it clean, you jump onto it, but no longer will both players just kind of lock up with each other. And that's what the NHL is hoping for. In the past, both guys would lock up, be kind of a scrum situation. A little bit more space so you can chase down the puck, or if you win it, maybe you move it clean.
Carter won the draw for the Kings. He's out with Toffoli and Pearson. The puck comes to center ice and flipped back into the Coyote zone by Martinez. Loose puck picked up by Carter. His pass, though, taken away by Lauri Korpikoski. Intercepted by Pearson. He scores! Tanner Pearson took the puck away, and he gives the Kings a 1-0 lead. The first goal of the regular season for the Kings, and it's Tanner Pearson getting the goal.
Well, that 70s line just cranks it up, and it just kind of starts on a kind of an innocent-looking play. You see what happens here in the neutral zone. Bobbled. Carter ends up going down to his knees, but he keeps alive. You see, look at the Coyotes. They're all back there, but here's the turnover. It's just a strip, and that is a big part. It's not an underrated part. It's a big part of the game for Tanner Pearson. We've seen it time and time again where his energy is right there, and he's always on loose pucks. It just seems like he's going to get there. He does, and a great shot. 1-0 Kings.
Here's Pearson again. He put it back behind the net to Carter. Down a shot from the right point, blocked, held in again. Now the Kings move it right in front again, knocked away by Dubnyk. Shot from there is deflected up high as the puck came on the left wing side, and Martinez fired, and the puck comes all the way back behind the King net. So the Kings get on the board Tanner Pearson, first goal of the year for the Kings. And they lead it 1-0. Now Clifford tips it into the Coyote zone. Dubnyk tips it off to the side, and now the Coyotes move it up the right wing and up the center ice. Taken there and flipped down ahead deep into the King zone. Chased into the corner now and picked up there. P.J. Crombeen knocked it down, but now a loose puck taken by Clifford. Clifford in deep, can't get a shot yet. Now he centers it in front. Richards was there, couldn't get a stick on it. Kings hold it in again. Out at the left point, back to the blue line. Reguer, his pass up the middle. Now Clifford. Clifford double teamed and the puck taken away by the Coyotes.
Nice gap control there by the Kings. Reguer standing up, the forwards with back pressure. No room for the Coyotes.
Now back behind the net, loose puck in the King zone. Battled for there and taken and fired out to the left point by Crombeen. Driven down in deep on the right side, but back to get it is King. And the Kings control it. Here's Voynov. Up to Dwight King. Kings are home at Staples Center tomorrow night, 7 o'clock game against the Winnipeg Jets. Coyotes send it across the line. Lauri Korpikoski moves it left side, back to the blue line. Quick pass there, then a shot, save, rebound, save again! On the rebound shot by Korpikoski. Great save by Quick.
You've got to elevate the puck if you're going to score on Jonathan Quick. That first one surprised Quick because there was a screen. The rebound was dangerous, but flexibility and strength and read of the play, Jonathan Quick makes the save.
Coyotes dig it out and they get it up ahead to Sam Gagner. He's a newcomer this year. Spent 7 years with the Edmonton Oilers. Puck comes down into the King zone and played up the left side. Taken there by Marian Gaborik. Kings in a line change though, and the Coyotes take over. The Kings had 46 wins last year and 100 points. Puck is sent down the right side in the King zone. A backhander just tipped away. Loose puck in the King zone. A shot knocked down by Quick. Can he cover it up? Yes, he does. And he gets the whistle.
Coyotes coming right back to try to make it happen. Of course, that chance they had, Keith Yandle, we talked about him already. Look at the head up right there. Gets through. Brayden McNabb maybe just helps get a piece, but look at Jonathan Quick. He's got the bottom part of the net covered. He's got the glove in position. That glove is always ready. The balance is so good by Quick, but he almost has that double stack. It's a pad and an arm, not two pads to stack up, but he gets across and makes it happen there. McNabb just got a piece, enough. Stick on stick to make sure the putback could not be elevated. Kings still lead 1-0.
The goal by Pearson was unassisted as he stole the puck and gave the Kings a 1-0 lead. Coyotes have had some pressure on though, and they send it down into Hansel. Martin Hansel dropped it off. A shot is wide off the boards, and it is not tipped out yet. Coyotes hold it in again. Erat, then a shot and a save on the shot by Hansel. So they've had some good puck movement here in the King zone.
Yeah, the control on the forecheck is there now for the Coyotes. That goal with Pearson, just one of those things. I'm looking at my notes for Tanner Pearson tonight. And when I wrote down a few things. Look at the goaltender, though. Dubnyk does not have a chance to address the situation because it happened so quick. And look at how deep he is. But the notes I had for Pearson, force the action and smart. That's what he does there. Doesn't give up on the play. He forces the action. When he gets it, he's smart. He knows exactly what to do.
He scored a minute 32 into this game, and the Kings have a 1-0 lead. And the puck taken now by Green. Gets it up on the right side to Foley, chased in by Pearson. Pass comes up to center ice as the Coyotes clear the zone, taken away by Carter. Carter drives it in, down the left side, picked up now, and a shot saved by Dubnyk on the shot by Pearson again. And he hangs on for a faceoff.
Daryl Sutter behind the bench talking this morning at the morning skate about the similarities between the Kings and the Coyotes. Both teams, if possible, like to use four lines. You know, that works if there's no injuries and, special teams. Six defense rely on goaltending. So a lot of similarities between these teams. Of course, last year in the playoffs, the Kings really turned it on offensively. That's the reason they won the cup.
Puck taken by the Kings of the left point. Picked up by the Kings' McNabb, the youngster coming over from Buffalo. He's had some experience in the NHL, but he's a newcomer to the Kings, wearing number 3. Kings slow it down as Drew Doughty back with McNabb, and
only one forechecker and 4 men deep in the neutral zone for the Coyotes. So when they don't get it, they're going to back off, try to clog it up.
Pearson drove it in deep. It comes back to McNabb at the left point. He couldn't hold it in though. Comes out to center, and the Coyotes with it. Cross the line, broken up there, and then poked back to center by Tanner Pearson. The Kings get Richards out at center now as they bring it up to center, and here's Richards. Richards ahead, over to Nolan. Loose puck gathered in though by Doughty. Dowdy to McNabb. Braden McNabb over to Clifford. Kings want a line change here with 14:28 to go in the first period. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox, and the Kings with a 1-0 lead here over the Arizona Coyotes.
Didn't say it.
I didn't. I got a couple of letters out.
That's all. It's okay.
Puck is into the corner of the Kings zone. Coyotes take it away there, though, and a loose puck picked up by Joe Vitale. He used to be with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Comes over here to Arizona. Still a battle. Matt Green throwing some checks behind the net. Crombeen going for it. He gets checked. Now back to the blue line, and a shot knocked down is wide off the boards. Rebound right in front. Quick was going to cover it up, but it was poked free and held in by the Coyotes. Shot from the blue line is deflected back behind the net, and the Kings have it. Back up to center they come. Here's Martinez. He sends it in deep and goes right for the bench. Kings in a line change. Brown comes out on the right wing. Kopitar also out on the ice, and the puck sent back down in deep and swept away by Quick, but almost intercepted by the Coyotes.
Voinov had to hustle back there, stick on stick to break it up.
Now a centering pass up the middle by Korpikoski. Held in again and driven wide. Taken, and a backhander hit the side of the net. Rebound wide and tipped away again, and the Coyotes have had some great chances. They hold it in again. McCulloch at the left point drives it back behind the net. Still 1-0 Kings, but they're lucky to have it be 1-0. And again, the Kings pass taken away, and a shot tipped up over the net. Picked up behind the net by Moss. David Moss with it. He gets knocked down. Coyotes keep it in play in the Kings zone. Moss again. Check there. Tried to give it into Korpikoski. Taken away by Kopitar. He played the boards. It's not out yet. Held in by McCulloch. His drive goes wide, and the Coyotes need a line change.
Nothing fancy from the Coyotes, but what you would expect. Everyone working hard, everyone involved, just create loose pucks and try to get it to the front.
Kings took it away. It was Kopitar that poked it away, and now Williams on the ice. He gets checked by McCulloch as he came across the blue line. And an icing call here against Arizona. 12:16 to go in the first, 1-0, but territorially it's been the Coyotes.
Yeah, it certainly has, and again, we've talked about the Selke Trophy and Andrei Kopitar. Look at him down low defensively, making it happen, just being there a couple of times. There's where Dustin Brown tried to go through the middle, didn't make it happen. So Kopitar on that shift, he not only showed his smarts, but maybe an underrated part of Andrei's game, if there is a part, his strength on the puck. I mean, a couple of times he was leaning and reaching, but still strong to break up the play.
Face-off in the Coyote zone, and Carter on the draw, but the Coyotes win the face-off. This line right here, Carter, as the Coyotes bring it in deep, and Hansel can't get a good shot. Carter is out with Williams and Pearson. And Pearson trying to force it across the blue line, and he did, and then offside is called against Arizona. Tanner Pearson gets the Kings on the board with a goal at 1:32 of the first period.
Welcome back. I'm Patrick O'Neill. Kings lead the Coyotes 1-0. Time for the Cold Hard Facts, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. We know Andrei Kopitar does plenty of damage against this league. In particular, he takes great pleasure in beating the Coyotes. Since 2006-2007, Kopi's first year, he has 50 career points against the Coyotes, second only to Joe Thornton. So offense is going to be key as the Kings want to get on the board here, guys. Again, maybe Kopi will be involved.
And Patrick, it's fitting, that graphic they just had there. You know, it took a while, but the last 2 or 3 years now, Andrei Kopitar's name is mentioned with those types of guys. Thorntons, Datsyuks, Getzlaf, he is right at the top of the NHL.
Coyotes go for the loose puck in their own zone. The Kings have the 70s line out with Toffoli, Pearson, and Carter. Coyotes in the Kings zone. Shane Doan. Doan moves it ahead, and a shot is deflected wide, and then Vermette sent it around the boards. Out to the left point. A shot from there is wide again, and it is taken but not cleared out by Pearson. Here's Antoine Vermette up the middle. Shot from there. Knocked down in front. Doughty was right in front of Quick. Puck is chipped off the boards by Pearson out to center ice.
Another one of those plays where the Coyotes, because they're all over the Kings, they're just creating turnovers just about 10 feet inside the Kings' blue line. That's that gray danger area. The Coyotes are getting to pucks, and they're having second chances.
Shane Doan on the ice. Doan in his 1,317th NHL game tonight. Second all-time among active players. The only guy with more is Jaromir Jagr. Puck taken by McNabb, but he threw a check, and then the Coyotes pick up the loose puck. Pass up the middle. A shot and a save there on that shot by Doan. Doan has scored more points against the Kings than any other team in the NHL. Puck taken now by Mike Richards for the Kings, and they get it up to center ice on the right wing side. Here's Nolan, Jordan Nolan in the slot. He shoots, it's wide, blocked, and then picked up again by Green. Now left side, Martinez shoots, and a save by Dubnyk, and he covers it up.
Well, the Kings finally have a counterattack right there, and good drive to the net by Mike Richards. That bought time for Nolan and Clifford to get the job done. Dave Tippett, 12th season as a head coach. Of course, the Dallas Stars, which were formerly the Minnesota North Stars, and now the Arizona Coyotes that were formerly the Phoenix Coyotes. We got a whole bunch of changes going on. Last year, the Coyotes scored more and did not defend as well. And Dave Tippett said that experiment probably did not work. They wanted to open it up offensively, but it went against them. They were actually 4th best on the power play, but only 26th on the penalty kill. That tells the story. They want to get back to solid defense. We may have a face-off. It's going to be a penalty.
Yep.
The centerman played the puck. The first time the puck was played after it was dropped by the linesman was played by the hand. And that is illegal. There, see the hand get in there? They do that because of safety issues. Many of the new rules that are being put in have to do with not getting exposed areas near a skate blade, because those blades nowadays with the stainless steel and the way they can sharpen them are just, they're weapons. I mean, they are very dangerous. So that rule was put in a couple of years ago. You have it right here. Kings first chance, man advantage.
Well, they're 0 for 5 in their first game the other night, so looking for their first power play goal of the season. Here is a pass. It's intercepted, though, and Coyotes bring it to center ice. Overskated for a moment by Korpikoski. Now he gathers it in again. He gets checked in the Kings zone. Gabrick poked it away over to Kopitar.
Especially teams, one of the keys to the game, Hyundai keys to the games. And Bob, the Kings spent a whole bunch of time yesterday at practice working on the power play, trying to figure it out, get sharp.
Here's Kopitar in the slot. Turns, can't get a shot. He just kind of got knocked off balance there. Back to the blue line. Back to Kopitar again. Kopitar hangs on. Kings were 27th in the league last year on the power play. Richards to Kopitar. Kopitar down in deep. Now a pass by Carter right through the slot, picked up by Doughty. Doughty with a man advantage. Kings with a 1-0 lead. Over to Kopitar. His pass taken off the boards by Gabrick and intercepted by the Coyotes. Van cleared.
Tripping call coming up here against the Kings, Jeff Carter. Ekman-Larsson took over on that shift. I know the comparison has been made before. Ekman-Larsson does remind you of Nicholas Lidstrom. He gets so much done. Here comes the trip right there. It was just a little stick early by Carter, and he kind of knew that it was going to happen, but there was 3 times on that shift where Ekman-Larsson, he got his stick on the puck. He never really had control of it, but he got his stick on the puck enough to break up the play that the Kings were trying to design out there. And he never looks like he's skating full out, but he doesn't have to. It's that sense of the game, the understanding, and no matter how he does it, he certainly gets it done.
Now we have 4-on-4 skating. Power play so far this year in their first game. The Coyotes were 0 for 3 against Winnipeg. Last season, they had a pretty good power play, 4th best in the league at 19.9. But the Kings get the draw and move it up to center ice. Chased down by Stoll. Now Brown. Brown, nice pass there and across the line. Here's a shot by Martinez and a save by Dubnyk. Rebound in front and shot up high. Brown got it and got it up high.
Let's see if the Kings keep an eye on that. Now we have another penalty coming up. Coyotes might be interfering. You might get both guys here. No, Stoll's going off. Stoll's the man that went down, but perhaps he's going to the box to be 4-on-3, maybe 3-on-3 coming up. We'll see what happens. Wow.
Originally from Cuba, Arizona, he served in the Army for 26 years. Is currently a recruiter with the Arizona National Guard out of Mesa. Ladies and gentlemen,
Well, we are back here in Glendale, and we have a 1-0 Kings lead, but we have coincidental minors. The first one is against Vitali. He's going to take an interference call because he gets his stick into the upper body of Jarrett Stoll. Stop right there, guys. You can see it's right there in the almost middle of the screen down at the top. Then Stoll decides to kind of kick his legs out from underneath himself. He almost dove into that one, so that was embellishment. So you get the initial infraction, the interference. It was there. You saw the stick impeding, but then you saw too much from Jarrett Stoll. Again, he kind of jumped himself through it. another thing, those things will add up this year. Embellishment penalties, they can add up to a point where you get fined, not only the player, but also the coach.
Well, it's 4-on-4 on the ice right now. Kings win the draw, and Gaborik with a shot wide, and the puck taken now by Kopitar.
I was hoping the 3-on-3. That doesn't happen anymore.
Now left side, here's Doughty. He shoots at Dubnyk with a save, and he traps it and hangs on.
Dubnyk has looked a little bit shaky with pucks into his gloves. He gets that one and smothers it, but there were 3 shots already this period where he kind of thought he was going to have it in the big catching glove, but never really did get it. So that's something you want to just note if you're a player, and if you have the opportunity, be around the front looking for the extra chance because of the rebound.
Dubnyk is big, 6'6", 210, and the Coyotes have the puck. And the pass off the boards of the blue line held in by Martinez. He slaps it down in deep. Puck back behind the net. Coyote zone and into the corner. Hensel centers it and back to center ice come the Arizona Coyotes, trailing 1-0 in the game.
So Yandel look up to the scoreboard because now his team is back at even strength, and they're going to have the man advantage here on the power play. He just took some time and made sure there was enough time for his teammate to get out.
Coyote power play now for 51 seconds as of right now, but the puck comes out to center ice. And the Coyotes back to get it. Into the King zone, broken up there and cleared the length of the ice. And the Kings have a chance to regroup now. The Coyotes go back in to pick it up. It was Voynov that cleared the puck.
The Kings feel they have a strength in this area because of tactics and because of skill. Those types of things.
Oh, pass by Doan that almost was cleanly intercepted by Richards. He would have had a breakaway. He picks up the loose puck, though.
The Kings feel they have advantage here, Bob, because they can use so many different guys on the penalty kill.
Dwight King. His pass back in deep, taken by Yandel. Yandel back up to center ice now for the Coyotes, and he gives it right side to Doan. His shot and a save by Quick. Rebound behind the net, Vermette. Back to the blue line. Vermette gets it back again. Kings are back at full strength. Coyotes still with it in the King zone. Vermette, his pass taken away and cleared back out to center and chased down by Toffoli, but Korpikoski gets there. Kings take it away. Shot to the right side. Score! The Kings took away the loose puck, and Jeff Carter makes it 2-0 Kings.
And it was Carter that was coming out of the penalty box, and then there was a subtle, smart play by Slava Voynov, I believe, who used the boards just to get it out. Now, it didn't happen initially. There's Voynov. He just gets it out. Here's where the turnover happens. It's Stone. He doesn't get it out. Toffoli gets a piece. Carter gets himself into a position here. There's the strip. There's the pickup. Now look at this. It's a 2-on-1. And the goaltender's got to be guessing there. And there was a slight hesitation. Almost kind of a double cock right there by Jeff Carter. But when he gets in that situation, as well as that line works together, you want Jeff shooting the puck there. He has the quick wrists, and the Kings lead 2-0.
Carter with his first of the year. Toffoli should get an assist, and the Kings with a 2-0 lead. 12:57 the time of the goal here in the first period. Puck taken by Doughty. King zone. Doughty checked there, and the puck taken away, and a quick shot and a save by Quick again. Quick has made some outstanding saves here in the first period because the Coyotes have been in the King zone quite a bit with some excellent passing.
And there's kind of those jam situations and quick putbacks by the Coyotes because they're creating turnovers, and that can be very dangerous for a goaltender. So the focus so far in this game for Jonathan Quick is dead on. There's Jeff Carter, the shifts, the shots, and of course the one shot counts. It was interesting the way Voynov just cleared the zone there. He put the puck into a situation where it may be contested. Bottom line, though, it was a turnover. Stone did not clear it. Toffoli gets it, and Carter gets the goal.
Carter with 27 goals last season, second on the team in goals, and he gives the Kings a 2-0 lead here in the first period. Martinez to Clifford. Dubnyk behind the net, gave it away for a moment, but Nolan didn't handle it, and it is cleared up in the air and out to center ice. Martinez back to get it for the Kings with 6:15 to go here in period number 1. Richards sends it in, and a glove stop by Dubnyk as it bounced, and he scooped it up. Good play for the Kansas City Royals.
There you go. Mike Richards spent more time in the offseason with his fitness program. He hired a personal trainer, he said, for the first time since his junior days. And it was just something that everyone talked about. Dean Lombardi talked to him before he went to the summer. Dean Lombardi went to visit him in Ontario during the summer to make sure he was working on that. So the Kings are hoping the fitness turns into better play.
Stoll wins the draw. He is out, and the puck comes back out to center ice. Stoll with Brown and Dwight King. Now here's Brown. He gets checked there in the Coyote zone. Dropped it off though, and Brown gets it back again. Brown's pass back to the right point, and a shot from there is up high, and you heard it clank off of the glass. Puck comes back to the blue line, but out to center ice. Now taken to the King blue line by Robin Regehr. Regehr moves it ahead. It's knocked out of midair by Korpikoski. Picked up by the Coyotes, sent into the King zone, and back to cover up is Voinov. Sent it off the boards up to center ice. Here across the line, Carter, his shot is wide. Taken by the Coyotes and moved up ahead to Connor Murphy. He got it to center ice, intercepted by the Kings. Back they come. Here's Toffoli with a shot wide. Rebound out of the reach of Carter and then sent deeper into the Coyote zone, but the Kings back in to get it. Connor Murphy couldn't get his stick on it, but the Coyotes bring it to center ice, and it's flipped high in the air. Bounces down in the King zone. Kings move it quickly over to Tanner Pearson. He's got a goal tonight. Pearson up to center ice. He gets stopped there by Zbynek McCulloch, and then a drive right at Quick, and he knocks it away. 4:49 to go here in the first period. Kings on goals by Pearson and Carter have a 2-0 lead. Puck taken now and flipped by Doughty down into the Coyote zone. Last year against the Coyotes, the Kings 2 wins, 3 losses. Coyotes Oliver Ekman-Larsson chases it back into his own zone. Gives it over to Zbynek McCulloch. Now to center ice. And Klinkhammer got stopped there, but Hansel picks it up. Gives it to Klinkhammer. Now Klinkhammer again down the corner. Shoots, and it's just tipped away. Back up the left wing side and out to center ice. Here is Justin Williams. Williams gets it over right side to Gabrick. Gabrick pass over the middle. Martinez shot. Save. Rebound in front. Williams. And the net is dislodged. But a pretty good rush by the Kings that time.
It was that close. The puck was in the crease. Williams was swinging. Martinez joined the attack, but the Kings had a 1-0 lead. Now it's a 2-0 lead. Tanner Pearson and Jeff Carter.
Time for AT&T U-verse Rewind, and a big night on this date in 1980 for my partner Jim Fox.
Number 1. First game. Got my first goal. 8-1 win over the... And it was an important goal, Bob. It was goal number 8. They were coming back, though. They were starting to...
Yes, they were looking good.
Yeah, I put them out of their misery.
That was a big night for, 3 of you King rookies, right, that night?
Greg Terrion and Lawrence Thomas Murphy.
Yeah. Puck comes up the left side to Gabrick, and he was unable to clear it out. Gabrick goes for it again in the King zone. Shot from the blue line, deflected wide. The shot by McCulloch. Picked up now by Williams. He didn't clear. Oliver Ekman-Larsson held it in for the Coyotes. Puck comes around the right side and still in the King zone. Centering pass up the middle, backhanded back over toward Hansel. King still couldn't clear. Regehr tried to clear it out. Hansel knocked it away. Now here is Hansel again. He shoots and a save, and the loose puck sent back on the left side by Klinkhammer. Picked up now by the Coyotes once again. They've had good pressure in the King zone. Here's a battle for the puck, and it's won by Regehr.
That's exactly right, Bob. That was a battle all shift long with Robin Regehr trying to get it out. Coyotes keep it in.
Hansel sends it across the rink, but it's intercepted by Voinov. He gets it up to center to Williams. Williams sends it in. Kings want a line change with just under 3 minutes to go here in the first period. End of this period, Patrick O'Neill will talk with one of the Kings. Kings have a 2-0 lead. Driven deep in the King zone, and Jordan Nolan back in to get it. Picked up now by Richards. He sends it over to Braden McNabb, and now to center ice. Clifford ahead now to Nolan. Nolan's pass over on the right side. Just didn't connect perfectly, and the Coyotes the puck comes back out to center ice. Now across the line, here is Doughty. Doughty sends it in, but it's broken up by Yandel. He plays it off the glass out to center, and Doughty slaps it right back in. Lauri Korpikoski back in to get it. Korpikoski, he's out of Finland. He was number 1 pick of the Rangers in 04. Played a lot of years here in Arizona. Up to center ice to David Moss. Just tipped away from him, and the Kings send it back across the line and chased in by Dwight King. King down in the corner. Get some help there as the Kings try to poke it free, unable to do so yet. But now it is picked up back to the blue line by Brown, and a shot just deflected wide of the net. Kings get it back, but not for long. Taken away now, and back up to center ice. Coyotes with it, Sam Gagner. Pass up to center ice and down deep into the Coyote zone.
Almost too many men on the ice. The Coyotes did have too many guys skating, but no one really played the puck. They skated away from the puck, so the linesman decided not to call it.
Remember a player years ago, Dave Gagner in the NHL? That's his son, Sam. Puck comes around to Toffoli. Now up to Pearson. Here's Pearson. He's got a man breaking. Right down the middle is Carter. Carter in front. He shoots, and a save by Dubnyk. Rebound sent just wide of the net. Now the Kings go for it again. Big save there by Dubnyk. Carter again rolls it in front. Intercepted.
That breakout was almost perfect. Now the Kings have a delayed penalty coming up against them after the great chance they had. What a breakout by the Kings. Stick-to-stick passing. And now it's finally whistled down, and hooking will be the call. So the Kings hungry going after loose pucks, and it's Tanner Pearson that's going to get the gate here. But just the way the Kings made the move. One pass, two passes, three passes, and then the lofted pass. Look at Dubnyk. He tried to take away space and did so with his stick. The big long poke check for the 6'6" goaltender. And when the Kings were trying to recover that puck, there was a hook on the play, so it could have been 3-0. Now the Coyotes have a chance here to get back within one.
Well, Dubnyk was flopping all over in front of the net, but he made the stop.
You have a guy like Jeff Carter who has quick hands. We've seen his move, that backhand move. So I think what Dubnyk's saying, I'm going to try to run him out of room and time as much as possible. Very few times do you have a goaltender with that much reach. 6'6", and extending his arm to make the poke check.
Power play for the Arizona Coyotes. They get it right side. Ekman-Larsson shoots, tipped, and a save. And the rebound not cleared. Nice play by Yandel. Shot scored! Tipped in. Yandel kept it in at the blue line, and it leads to a goal, and it's 2-1 Kings.
And that's a big turnaround. Big turnaround from the breakaway to the power play goal. Now this is one of those automatics. Automatic because the Kings have a chance to clear the puck here. And if you don't, you're going to pay. Watch the rebound. Right there, Green turns, tries to go up the middle, does not clear it. And it doesn't take any time whatsoever. The shot comes in about waist high. It's picked out of the air. Yandel has done this all night. His release, he's going to get it through. He's going to get it by that first guy for sure because he's so quick with it. That was kind of a half slap shot. Vermette looks like he's going to be credited with a goal. He picks it out of the air. But it's one of those where the Kings had all kinds of control and could not clear the zone. Coyotes back within one.
Vermette gets his first of the regular season. It comes with 39 seconds to go in the first period. And the Coyotes back in the game, trailing by 1. Yandel gets an assist, obviously. 19:21, the time of the goal, and the puck into the Coyote zone and cleared up in the air out to center, and Doughty slaps it right back in. 8 seconds left to go in this first period. Coyotes just hang on to it now. They're going to let the clock run down. 1 second to go, and that's the end of the first period for the Kings. Pearson with a goal unassisted. Carter, they originally credited an assist to Toffoli. Now they've taken that away. We'll see if they put it back. And then Vermette from Yandel puts the Coyotes back into the game, trailing 2-1.
Toffoli will get that assist, Bob. He got his stick on the puck to create the loose puck and make it happen for Carter. But territory, the Coyotes had probably the edge in the first period. The Kings had the lead, but what a turnaround. You get that breakaway save, you get the power play goal, last minute of the period, momentum. Very important what happens here coming out to start period number 2.
So Patrick O'Neill will be talking with Tanner Pearson when we come back here to the Gila River Arena in Glendale, Arizona. At the end of 1, the Kings lead it 2-1. All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, telecommunication to the public, or other unauthorized use of this broadcast without the express written permission of the Los Angeles Kings is prohibited. Opening week presented by Dairy Queen.
Well, Welcome back once again. Looked like it might be all Kings, even though the Coyotes were all over the Kings on the forecheck. But the Coyotes get that big power play goal. Yandle lock and load in the first period. He was getting that puck through just about every single time. Only Ekman Larsson played more than Yandle. With all this, look at that -2 rating. It's kind of like what Sean and I were talking about before the game, where Yandle's kind of an equal opportunity defenseman. He's great with the puck. Sometimes he struggles defensively, but I'll tell you what, he may have been, I know he's -2, but I thought he was the best player for the Coyotes there in period number 1.
Second period underway. Yandle sends it up ahead now after the faceoff was won by Hansel. Puck comes to Rob Klinkhammer, right side, King zone, pass up the middle, just deflected wide and taken by the Kings.
Just the skate of Voinov, make sure the pass does not connect.
Now here is Stoll, his backhand pass in front. Brown just couldn't get there in time. Now Brown battles for it along the boards, and the puck cleared out to center ice. Jim gave you the time on ice of the two defensemen for the Coyotes. For the Kings, Doughty played 8:28. And then you heard Larsson with the most and Yandle with the second most time on ice so far in this game. Here is Zbynek McCulloch. Puck cleared up ahead to center ice now and to the blue line of the Kings, chopped away by Gaborik, and the Kings regained control of it for a moment now. Antoine Vermette took it away and sent it in the Kings zone. Broken up there and sent up to center ice by McNabb. Over to Gaborik. Gaborik left side. He's got Williams in the slot. Gives it to him. Williams waits. By the time he could shoot, it was deflected by Doan. And Doan gets it out to center ice, but out of the reach of Bodker. Sent in now, and McNabb back to get it for the Kings. And he gave it away with a soft pass, but the Kings recover again and clear it up to center. Chased down on the left side by Gaborik. Marian Gaborik, one of the heroes of the playoffs. Here is another hero of the playoffs. Pass in front is taken by Carter, who came off the bench. The pass by Williams.
One long pass by Gaborik, one long pass by Williams, and the Kings almost had it right down the middle with Jeff Carter.
Chris Summers across the line for the Coyotes, but puck taken away there and cleared out to center ice. Broken up by Connor Murphy. He drives it back across the line, and offside is called.
Well, the Coyotes had a quick chance here, but this the smarts of Slava Voinov to kind of stay at home. Chase down a loose puck, inside position right there by Klinkhammer. Now, when it gets to the front of the net, you see what the defenseman has to do. Get a stop here. Look at Voinov. He's not going at the puck carrier because he can't score from there. It's a bad angle. Stays in between, just gets a stick on it. And that's what the defenseman's responsibility is on that 2-on-1. Whether it's a direct attack or out of the corner, stay in between and make sure you don't hang your goaltender out to dry. If the first guy scores, you worry about that from the goaltender. Make sure you take away the passing. Voinov does.
Here's Martin Hansel now for the Arizona Coyotes. Back to the right point. Summers with a shot just deflected wide. Picked up in the King zone for a moment, but now taken away, and a shot is knocked down along the side of the net. Hansel trying to jam it in. Can't do it. It's loose for a moment, then covered by Jonathan Quick.
Well, that's the way the Coyotes have approached this game just about all game long. So just kind of buzz around, right? And not have they been dangerous on attack? No. That's where the Kings have been dangerous. Hansel's big body in there, just kind of grinding it out. And that is more of the type of team that Dave Tippett probably has here. Again, he mentioned before this season started, there was probably too much of a risk to kind of expand their horizons, as he said, offensively last year. It didn't work. The defense went away, and so did the wins.
Kings have it now. They don't have a shot on goal yet in this period. Coyotes have 3. Puck taken at center ice and sent deep into the zone where Devin Dubnyk breaks it up, but he gives it away. Centering pass just off the stick of Richards and played now by B.J. Crombeen. Coyotes get it up to center ice. Picked up left side. Chased down and deep by Joe Vitale. Vitale got knocked down to one knee, and then he gets up and goes for it again, but it's slapped away over to Clifford. Clifford throws a check. Puck is loose. Coyotes with it again. Joe Vitale. Vitale checked there, and the puck taken by the Kings. Joe Vitale from Northeastern University, and we get an offside called here.
You got to like the forecheck presser by the Coyotes, but the Kings were very solid defensively too, getting inside position, help from a centerman. Injury update. Jake Muzzin, undisclosed injury. Trevor Lewis, mid-upper body, so take your guess what's going on there. And Darryl Sutter was talking about that the other day, where he says both guys have frustrating injuries, so that kind of tells you they're not going to be out long term. But Darryl also pointed out that in the cap era, and a team like the Kings that are right up against the cap, when you get guys go down with injury, it's tough to move guys around and bring guys up because you're in a position where you can't spend money as far as the salaries go.
Kings will be home tomorrow night at Staples Center against the Winnipeg Jets. We'll be on the air on Fox Sports West with a pregame show at 6:30. Game time is 7 tomorrow. Kings have it in the zone. Here's Brown. His shot deflected back to him. Gets it back toward the blue line. Just held in there by McNabb. Then thrown up the middle by Brown. Picked up now by Doughty. Doughty turns, and it's taken away from Doughty. He was going to make a move. Came down the left side, but it was tipped away, and back come the Coyotes. Yandel left side. David Moss poke checked that away from Doughty, and the Kings unable to clear it out yet. Chased in by Braden McNabb. Up ahead to center. Now to Brown. Dustin Brown across the line, still with it. Brown looking for a play, gives it up the middle. Shot by Green is off the glass, and the rebound comes back toward the front, but broken up by the Coyotes. And now up to center ice they come, trailing 2-1 here in the second period. Arizona across the line. Oliver Ekman-Larsson. His pass off on the right side to Bodker. Bodker tried to center it. Comes back to the blue line. Held in again. Driven down in deep, left wing side. Coyotes trying to make a play. Doan shoots, and it is deflected out of play. Doan missed some games last year with Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
You don't hear that too often. That's not in the glossary as far as injuries or illnesses go in the NHL. Sam Gagner did come across, of course, from Edmonton to Tampa Bay, from Tampa Bay to Arizona. You see the numbers for Gagner. Now, he struggled in the preseason with kind of a nagging injury, undisclosed. And then he's entered the regular season, of course, his second game here. And he's at center right now. He can play wing. They're back and forth, but he's not on top of his game yet. But that's probably the biggest acquisition that the Coyotes had in the offseason, looking for a little bit more offense.
And the draw here comes back to the left point. Oliver Ekman-Larsson put it down in the corner and up off the screen and out of play. Sam Gagner, yes, number one pick of Edmonton in 07. Last season, only 10 goals, 37 points. So he gets a rest over on the bench. Face off to the right of Jonathan Quick. Kings ahead 2-1. Back to the blue line. Shot from there is deflected and out of play.
I think we're going to get an interference penalty, a hold of some sort. I'm getting a couple of different signals from Wes McCauley, the referee. I'm assuming where the face-off took place, so it might be two guys. Yeah, that's what's happened. We're having coincidental again. It came off the face-off. Williams goes. Erat goes.
Number 10, Phoenix has a minor penalty
Interference for Erat, and Williams gets
LA has a minor penalty for
holding. So they probably locked up, trying to buy space for each other and get it going. It's right off the draw. So Erat steps in. Williams grabs around the neck, and the referee in the neutral zone had a good look at everything. Right there, they're stepping in, and so you get the interference, then you get the hold, you get both things, and we're down to that 4-on-4 once again.
We're in the second period here at Gila River Arena in Glendale, Arizona. Kings chase it down. Martinez going for it. Korpikoski steps in front of him for the Coyotes. Back to the blue line. Ekman-Larsson sends it over to Korpikoski. Down into Martin Hanzal. Hanzal tried to come back in front. Puck was tipped away from him and picked up now by Kopitar. Here's Kopitar. 4-on-4 skating. Kopitar in the zone. Shoots wide. Rebound off the boards. Kings try to get to the rebound along the boards. They can't pick it up. It's taken by Zbigniew Michalek. Michalek moves it around on the far side. He's out of the Czech Republic. His 11th year in the NHL. Coyotes coming to center ice. Over to Oliver Ekman-Larsson. His pass ahead. A shot by Vermette is up high and wide. Taken now by I was going to say by the Kings, Reguer, but it got by him, and Vermette picks it up. Antoine Vermette gets it back to the right point. Now the Kings try to take it away, and they're going to have a chance to do it, and they do. Here is Carter. His pass ahead, trying to get it to Toffoli. Tipped away. Carter goes for it again. Antoine Vermette, number 50 for the Arizona Coyotes, needs only 4 more points now for 400 in his career. He's got their goal tonight. Coyotes. King zone all the way to the blue line. They hang on to it. Bodker had it. Bodker gets it again. Mikhail Bodker Trying to spin away there from Voinov. Voinov stays with him. Then a shot that's covered by Quick.
That's solid puck possession, but at the same time, it's really solid defense for the Kings, taking that inside position. So, same score here, 2-1 Kings. He had the option to go as a free agent. He said, no way, I'm going to sign 4-year deal. Come back.
Sam Gagner on the draw against Stoll. Gagner went down to the ice. Stoll took a whack at it, and the puck is picked up by Dwight King. The Kings still have not been credited with a shot on goal here in this second period. We've played 6.5 minutes.
Yeah, now it's more than double up for the Coyotes, 20-9, and again, it's that pressure and just creating loose pucks for the Coyotes and getting shots.
Doughty, Arizona zone, throws it over to King. His shot up in the air and batted wide, and up the middle, and a loose puck taken by the Coyotes. Back on the left side, Sam Gagner. Gagner backs in, drops a pass off. Kings break it up. Now it is batted away to the blue line and out to center ice, and Arizona back to play it there. Arizona back to get it back in their own zone. Now to center ice. Pass on the right side by Martin Erat. Shot from there, save, rebound up the middle, backhander and a save. The backhander by Klinkhammer and a save there by Quick. Back down the right side. Kings into the zone. Pass in front by Richards. It's just wide to the left.
You talk about the sharpness. I did earlier, Bob, with Jonathan Quick after period number 1. And that last play was a great example of that, where he had to make the first save, rebound, but then very quick, he reset his position to become square to make the second save.
Kings trying to get possession of it as it's along the boards there, and Clifford's pass taken away and cleared up to center ice and intercepted there by the Kings. They were trying to break Klinkhammer out to center ice. The Coyotes were, but it was out of his reach. Here's Voinov now. Voinov moves it across the line. Kings try to protect the puck. Can't do it. Cleared back to center ice by Arizona.
Just the Kings can't make that second pass. They can get the first one, but the second one not able to be made because the Phoenix Coyotes are just all over, getting sticks, bodies in the way.
Clifford with a check on Connor Murphy and a battle behind the net. Williams going for it. He gives it to Kopitar. Kopitar to the blue line. Shot from there, and it is behind the net. Pass out in front, but intercepted by the Coyotes. Williams tried to make the pass right out in front. He did, but the Kings couldn't get a stick on it, and now a save by Quick on a shot from the left wing boards. Puck is still battled for, and the Kings dig it out and move it up ahead to center ice. Gabrick gets stopped as the puck taken away and cleared back to center. Kings have it again. Flip down the right wing side with 11:11 to go in the second period. Coyotes wait. Long pass up to center, batted away, and the Kings take control back in their own zone. Here's Martinez. He's pressured down in the corner. Martinez, his pass taken away, and a shot blocked out to center ice. Coyotes with it again. Back behind the King net. Here's Martinez. Martinez moves it right side. Kings come to center. To Foley. He's got an assist tonight. Gives it to Carter. Carter moving in. He shoots. Blocked. And the Coyotes turn it back to the blue line and back up to center ice. Back across the line, right side. It was Korbakowski blocked that shot. Puck comes down around the right side now and picked up there and cleared back out to center. Now the Beat LA chant here. Nothing original about that. Puck comes back into the zone, and Yandel with it now. Kings have a 2-1 lead. We're in the second period. The Kings have not had a shot yet in this period, and we're coming down to 10 minutes gone in the second period. Left side, across the line. Bodker shoots, and a glove stop by Quick. So 9:59 to go in the second period. Kings don't have a shot on goal, but they lead 2-1.
Welcome back, everybody, here with Jeff Carter. They don't have you guys credited with a shot yet in this first period. What do you have to do to get some more offense going?
Pucks to the net. Great traffic.
Are there challenges early in the season, game 2, to stay sharp? Do you guys feel like you're on your game right now?
There shouldn't be challenges. We should be ready to go. This is our 8th game? 9th game? We should be good.
Okay, thanks. Good luck.
Thanks.
Guys, back to you.
Well, pucks to the net. The Kings are kind of getting the entry, but then everything's clogged up by the Coyotes. But most of the period being spent in the Kings zone. The Coyotes continue with a forecheck.
Stoll won the draw, but the Kings unable to clear it out of their zone yet. Now they should have a chance, and Voinov gets it up ahead to center to Stoll. Right wing. Here's Brown. Shoots. Knocked away by Dubnyk. Behind the net. Brown took it away from Doan. Now pass in front by Brown, intercepted. Coyotes get it back up to center ice to Bodker. Bodker moves it ahead to Doan. Shane Doan, right side to the blue line. Shot from there, up high and deflected into the corner. And now the Kings clear it back to center ice.
They've gone off the mask of Jonathan Quick. That one's kind of floated in there, and a couple of sticks were waving. I don't think Jonathan saw it all the way. At the last second, he actually leapt up. He left the ice off the mask.
Here's a pass ahead to Bodker down the middle in front. He shoots, he scores! And he ties the game at 2-2.
I guess you could argue a matter of time. At the same time, this is the first kind of rush attack that the Coyotes have had, but it ends up into a clear-cut breakaway. There's the issue. You don't get a deep end quickly. Yandel, Bodker, when Bodker head up, he goes with that over the pad, under the blocker. The shot you see nowadays, I know from a coaching perspective, what you talk about there is at the offensive blue line, especially when a change is going to happen, you've got to get it deep. Otherwise, there's confusion. You have players that are tired on the ice or guys not able to get on the ice to defend. That's what happens right down the middle. Coyotes tied up 2-2.
Bodker with his second of the season, the assist to Yandel, his second of the game. And it comes at 10:50 to tie the game at 2-2.
Yeah, when you have it at the offensive blue line again, your teammates are expecting the puck to at least get deep. It's not like you're going to have an offensive attack. Now, Brown has to wait there because there's a player in an offside position, but you see, there it is. The change becomes the issue. The guys coming on the ice have no chance to get involved because of where the puck was turned over. And the Coyotes have the clear-cut breakaway.
They've also added an assist to Michael Stone on the play, so it's Bodker from Yandel and Stone at 10:50. And a hand pass called here. And the game is tied 2-2. The Kings now on the scoreboard have been credited with one shot here in this second period.
Just noticing who's on the ice there. Chasing it down was Anze Kopitar. And that's why the advanced stats are becoming much more important in the NHL, because that one there, Kopitar will get a minus on the play. But he was just jumping on the ice off the bench. He couldn't even get involved. And a couple players were in that same predicament. And plus-minus can be used, but it's used to supplement and help and support other things, not just stand by itself.
Quick tips it over to Doughty. Doughty up to center ice, and now it's Kopitar stopped at the blue line, and tripped is Klinkhammer. And a penalty coming up here.
Coyotes want a penalty shot. They're arguing that there was no one between Klinkhammer and the goaltender. Was he fouled from behind? That would fit the criteria. He would have to have possession of the puck. And you'll see it here. It's going to be another turnover. The Kings don't get it deep. And right back the other way. It came from the side, and you can see on the other side, Doughty probably would have caught him. So, yeah, that's the right call. The trip is the call. That's the correct call. Does not fit the criteria for the penalty shot. But the Coyotes, they picked up the momentum at the end of the first. They've carried it here into the second. We talked about that. Now, a strength of the Kings in the past has been, even though sometimes they're getting outplayed, they're still able to maintain an even keel. Don't let it bother them. The Coyotes want to bother them right now with a power play goal.
Kings penalty killing last season, 11th best in the NHL. They need a big penalty kill here. The Coyotes have momentum. They've tied the game at 2. We're in the second period. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox. 8:20 to go in this second period. Here is Yandel. 2 assists on the night for him. Up to center ice. Puck driven into the King zone, and Green drives it off the boards out to center. Chased down into the zone by Carter. For the goaltender, Dubnyk moves it off to the right side, and now Yandel back to take it for the Coyotes.
Yeah, McNabb in the penalty box, a defenseman, so you have kind of a weird pairing out there right now. Matt Green along with Drew Doughty. It's a PK, both right-handed.
Yandel moves it off on the right side, up the middle to Vermette, broken up and cleared. Back out to center ice by Stoll.
Nice recognition there by the Kings to take away the middle of the ice.
Yandel gets it back off the boards, chased in by Gagne. Sam Gagne going for it behind the King net. He gets knocked down by Green. Puck comes out to Martin Hanzal. Hensel, right point, put it down into the corner. It comes back to the blue line again on the power play. Ekman Larsson moves the right side. A shot blocked into the corner by Green. Vermette goes for it, gets it to Hensel, back to Vermette. Antoine Vermette, checked by Green. Vermette protects the puck, gives it to Gagne. Back to Vermette. Back on the left side to Yandel. Yandel at the point, but his pass tipped out to center ice. Looked like Stoll may have gotten the stick on it.
Never give up on that fundamental of get the stick in the passing lane, and that's exactly what Stoll did. He had to drag the stick behind him, but took away the play.
Coyotes tried to get it deep in the King zone, but Doughty broke it up and sent it back into the Arizona zone, and back they come to center ice. Pass over to Martin Erat. Erat used to be with Nashville. Pass back into him. He goes into the corner. Kings pick it up. Can they clear? Not yet. Blue line held in by Yandel. Right side, Quick shot and a save. Hensel shoots and a save by Quick. Boy, a rebound right to Hensel in the slot, and Quick made the save.
Quick had to adjust again. That's probably about the third time in this game where a rebound has been an issue, but not because of Quick. Look at all that traffic. You're not going to fault the goaltender for a rebound when the shots are getting through traffic and deflected and all those types of things. But the way he reset his position was just fundamentally perfect. He was in control. He was in balance. He's been busy all night long. 28 shots, 26 saves. And that one there, he had to come across, even though he was on both knees. And that has been a strength of Jonathan Quick since he's come into the league. Mika Kiprasov used to be real good at that too. Another goaltender that was coached by Daryl Sutter, where even though he's on his knees, he has great mobility back and forth. Big square shoulders to make the save.
Only 6 seconds left to go in the King penalty. Faceoff will be in the King zone. 3 seasons ago when these two teams met in the Western Conference Final, the Coyotes had 3,800 man gains in the NHL on defense. This year they've got 1,596, so they have had a lot of experience drop off back at the blue line. They win the draw though. Ekman Larsson shoots and a save by Quick. And that took only 4 seconds, so there's still 2 seconds left on the power play.
When the draw, Jeff Carter comes over the boards, along with Tanner Pearson. So we got the right-hander in the right corner.
Ready on the draw here. Pearson and Carter have goals for the Kings. Vermette and Bodker for Arizona. Vermette on the draw with a face-off won by Carter. Kings, Robin Regehr gets to it. Kings are back at full strength. Pearson gets it up ahead to center ice. Here's Carter, across the line, right side. Just poke-checked off his stick as the puck comes back in deep. Picked up there by the Kings and back to the blue line. Shot by Voinov and a save by Dubnyk.
You saw two of the best in the world on that last attack. You have Jeff Carter, who with his speed and reach and quick release can be so dangerous on the counterattack. Then you had Ekman Larsson. Ekman Larsson does not really make contact here, but watch his stick on puck. That's again reminds you of Nicklas Lidstrom, where you don't have to be the biggest body. So Carter is so dangerous. You saw it earlier. Ekman Larsson, he realizes if he goes up strength for strength, he'll probably lose that battle, so go for stick on puck.
Kings only their second shot on goal in this second period, and the face-off taken by the Coyotes, and Yandel drives it into the King zone. Now knocked into the corner, toward the corner. Still a battle for it there. Robin Regehr comes in. Carter is there. Coyotes send it down in deep again. A pass up the middle and a shot just wide to left. Rebound sent in front. And back up to center. Vitale had the best chance. Kings come back right side. Toffoli, his shot deflected behind the net. Kings go for it again. Comes over to Toffoli. Back up the middle. Shot by Clifford. Blocked. Clifford again. Can't get to it. Kings hold it in. Right side it goes to Richards. Richards across the ice. Held in there, and then a shot is blocked, but held in, but taken by Yandel. It was Green's shot that was blocked and then held in, but then Yandel picks it up and clears.
One of the few times the Kings have had the Coyotes back on their heels, but then the Coyotes get in trouble with block shots. So we'll see if the Kings can put 2 shifts in a row together here. It's going to be icing against the Kings, but they had some attack time. They had defensemen getting involved, and a 5-man attack can be effective. A reminder, the Kings Care Foundation silent auctions have gone digital. To view or bid on Kings items, text KINGS to 52182. Visit LA Kings mobile app or go online, lakings.com/auctions.
In the King zone now with the game tied at 2. Hensel on the draw for the Coyotes, but Richards wins the faceoff for the Kings. Green back on defense. Richards in to get the puck taken away by Hansel. His pass out of the reach of Clifford. And the Coyotes going to give it away at the blue line. Puck taken by the Kings. Richards across the line, sends it in deep, but hustling back is Connor Murphy, 21-year-old in his second year. Their number 1 pick in 2011. Back to center. Rob Klinkhammer sends it in deep, and Clifford back to get it for the Kings. Now up to center to Doughty. Doughty tried to make a move, but it's taken away, and here's Shane Doan.
There's another example, Bob, a kind of a trend this period where the Kings, they had control of the puck. I'm not saying it was a dangerous attack, but they get to the offensive blue line and it doesn't get deep. Now, there's no counterattack here. It's actually icing against the Coyotes, but it just always builds up. It builds up where you always end up on your heels. Doughty gets right here. He's looking for some help, no support, and stripped from behind. Now, if that happens like it has here in the second continuously, that's the way a game can turn around momentum-wise, because you never put the other team back on their heels.
Stoll will take this draw for the Kings against Antoine Vermette, and wins the draw in a shot blocked, and the Coyotes get it up to Bodker. He moves it off on the right side. Here's Vermette trying to get to it after a hard check along the boards on the right side. Then a shot from a sharp angle knocked away. The hard check was by McNabb.
He took Doan out. Doan thought he could give him the old stutter step move, and McNabb did not buy it. He just followed through all the way hard with the check.
So the youngster stayed right with it. Here is Brown. Coyote zone. Looking to make a play. Drives it in deep behind the net, and a net is dislodged, so the whistle stops play.
You know, the Kings are starting to get back with a little possession time in the offensive zone. McNabb closed the gap. Doan runs out of room. McNabb does a job.
It was announced yesterday that the Arizona Coyotes have a new majority owner. 51% of the team was sold to Andrew Barraway. Of course, it's subject to approval by the NHL Board of Governors. Barraway will be the Coyotes' chairman and governor. He is a managing partner of Marion Investment Management that currently manages more than $1 billion.
Billion.
Up to center and all the way down into the King zone, but whistle stops play here.
And there's two ways people are looking at that, Bob. They're looking at, first of all, the positive way is an influx of money and support, and you have more things to work with. But then there's the other side, too, understandably, where it just looked like everything was going to settle down and solidify with the ownership, and then you get someone else into the mix, and it's been a long, hard ride here in Arizona for the Coyotes, and they want to keep it alive.
Yeah, you're right, and there are still people here who just don't trust the fact that they're still going to stay here. Across the line, a shot by Gaborik is wide. Kings are tied 2-2 with the Arizona Coyotes with 3.5 to go in the second period. Coyotes up to center. Martin Erat sends it into Klinkhammer. Klinkhammer throws a check there in the corner. In comes Williams to dig it out for the Kings, and the Kings back to center ice. Up to center they come. Doughty brings it in the Arizona zone. Doughty still with it. Doughty behind the net over to Kopitar in front, and a shot knocked down back to the blue line. Picked up by the Kings. Doughty, right point. His pass, left side. Kings still have possession of it up the middle, and Kings couldn't get a shot. It went off the stick of Kopitar. Here's Gaborik. Gaborik, his shot deflected wide. Picked up by Kopitar again to Gaborik. Gaborik, his pass over to Williams. Gaborik, Williams, Kopitar up front. Kopitar gets it from Williams. Kopitar hangs on, but is poke checked away to Martin Erat. Erat up to center. The Kings credited with only 2 shots here in this second period, and there's only about 2.5 minutes left to go in the period.
But now it's 2 shifts in a row where the Kings have had decent pressure in the offensive zone. That's a complete turnaround. We'll see if they can make it 3 here.
Toffoli in the right wing corner. Arizona zone gives it to Carter. Carter tried to spin away from Gagne. He did. Gives it to Toffoli. His pass taken away, and back to center ice. Coyotes with it. They get it over to Laurie Korpikoski. He gets checked at the blue line by Green and rocked back. Sent it in deep, though, in the King zone. Toffoli looking for it. Now Gregor sends it up the right side. Held in there and down in deep into the corner by Chris Summers. Loose puck. Sam Gagne with a stick on it for the Coyotes. Kings get it. Green gives it to Pearson. Pearson checked there, but he maintains his balance. He got hit by Yandel.
All about body position there for Tanner Pearson. Keep possession, body position first, then move it.
Now Bodker coming back left side. He shoots, and a save by Quick.
But that one thing continues to come up against the Kings, and that's that neutral zone turnover. We saw another one right there. A reminder, after the game tonight on Fox Sports Live, post-game highlights, expert analysis, NLCS, NLDS. Andy Roddick goes one-on-one with Cowboys QB. That'll be Tony Romo. Plus highlights from a huge day in college football. Fox Sports Live on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Well, you're talking about college football today. There were long passes, long runs for touchdowns. Puck played in the Kings zone, face-off won by the Coyotes, and they can't hold it in. It bounced back out to center ice. Summers drove it right back deep in the Kings zone. Only a minute 28 left to go here in this second period. At the end of the period, we're going to have a preview of Kings Insider, A Day with the Cup. That's coming up at the end of this period in the intermission. Puck cleared back up to center, taken away by the Kings. They get it to Clifford. Clifford along with Nolan. Clifford in front of Nolan, a tip and a save by Dubnyk.
Yeah, Dubnyk had to stay at home right there. That's what they're trying to teach him. Sean Burke is still the goaltending coach here, a consultant. He's trying to work with Dubnyk to be aggressive but stay deeper. He's a big man, 6'6". Good job there. Stayed home to make the save.
Kings get it over on the right side and driven down in by Richards.
I still say though, Bob, I think the last 5 minutes has been the best hockey the Kings have played. I know it's not necessarily turning into a lot of shots on goal, but I think it's much better as far as the puck possession. If they could eliminate the neutral zone turnover, then that would be a big plus going forward in the third.
You mentioned Sean Burke. He was with the Kings for a little while. He's now goalie coach and assistant to general manager Don Maloney. Puck comes up to center, taken away by the Kings. Brown, right wing, dropped it back, but right on the stick of Bodker. Mikhail Bodker up to center, hampered from behind by King, but he gets it ahead now, and Doan chased it down into the corner. Now Bodker goes for it again. 8 seconds to go in the period. Game is tied at 2. Loose puck comes up the middle and just swept away there on the right side by Brown. Brown to center ice, and time runs out before he could get a shot. And that's the end of the second period. Only one goal in the period. It was a breakaway by Mikhail Bodker, his second of the season. Yandel and Stone with the assist at 10:50, and it's 2-2 at the end of 2.
I'm going to look at it light at the end of the tunnel here. The Kings' last 5 minutes was better, more puck possession in the offensive zone. They want to take better care of the puck. Again, after game one, that's what Dustin Brown was talking about. We'll see if they can continue that last 5 minutes of the second into period number 3. That's what happened after the first period. The Coyotes had the momentum. They kept it going. We'll see if the Kings can turn that around.
Kings with only 3 shots in the period. They have 12 for the game. The Coyotes have 31. In the intermission, we'll have a preview of Kings Insider, A Day with a Cup.
Once again, Glendale, Arizona. Kings and the Coyotes, 2-2. There's Braden McNabb. 11:28 after 2, so he's not getting a lot of ice time. At the same time, Daryl Sutter has talked recently about McNabb being, he's not pigeonholing McNabb into it. He's a defensive guy, he's an offensive guy, says he can play him with a whole bunch of different guys. This is what I loved about the second period right there, just that control factor. He's known as a defenseman that will get 2, maybe 3 big hits a game. That one along the boards. He's also known as a guy that can stand up in the middle of the ice. That's very difficult to do nowadays because you can't hold anyone up, but good understanding of that play with Shane Doan, where the moment Shane Doan dropped his eyes and took his eyes off McNabb, that's exactly when McNabb finished the check.
Third period, ready to get started. Stoll against Hansel on the faceoff. They added 1 shot for each team in that second period, so Arizona had 17 second period shots. Kings had 4 for a 2-period total of 32-13.
Adjustments the Kings have to make. Moving the puck in the neutral zone. Don't go for the long bomb. Don't go for those types of things. Icing here against the Coyotes. And I'm not saying the Kings have been. You know, on the last turnover, where the Coyotes came back with a breakaway goal, I think it was Dustin Brown. He was waiting to dump it in, but he had a man in. He didn't want to have an offside situation, but then you kind of hesitated. And those things just come back to bite you. That was what was going on. That's the adjustment the Kings will have to make here in period number 3. Make sure you get it deep. If the play's not there, you've got to keep it going north-south.
Time on ice total for 2 periods. Doughty 19 minutes and Yandel 18:51. Puck taken by the Coyotes. The game is tied 2-2. Third period. Each team looking for their first win of the regular season. Puck driven around the boards, and Regehr tried to get it on his stick, but the Coyotes get it back to the right point. They hold it in and sent down by Klinkhammer around the boards. Brown gets body position, gets it to the blue line and out to center ice. Taken there by Stone. Stone's pass off on the right side and thrown in deep by Hansel. Coyotes want a line change, and they're going to get one as the Kings have time to move it up to center ice. Here's Robin Regeer. Regeer sends it in, and McCulloch goes for it. Checked there by Carter. Now around to Doan. Taken away for the Kings. Carter in front, but couldn't tip it in, and a save by Dubnyk.
Started with a simple dump in, good dump in right there, so Carter could make the play initially. Registration for the 2015 Little Kings Learn to Play Hockey program presented by CCM is now open. Kids 4 to 8 learn to play hockey at 15 SoCal locations. Register today, LAKings.com/Little Kings. That's LAKings.com/LIL Kings.
Face off here in the Coyote zone, but a whistle and a hand pass stops play, and they're going to talk about this. And
remember earlier there was the penalty against him, but that was because the puck was on the ice. We'll see if the rules extends into here. This one here, oh, that's the same thing. Yeah, he's going to the box. They're talking now. Dave Tippett looking on. This is what the referees have been instructed to do more and more. From that look there, that should be the penalty. The same thing that was called earlier, where the first time the puck is played, it's with the hand. The drop of the puck was there. Both guys went out with the stick and never made contact. Now the face-off's going to come back deep into the zone, and Vermette's going to turn. The U-turn he didn't want to make right to the penalty box. So they get it right. And this is where you have to credit the officials for communicating. There's not a review here as far as video. Sticks don't get there. Look at the stick of Vermette. He actually went in behind Mark Wheeler, the linesman. Kind of laughing there. Don't see that too often. He lost control of his stick, and then he played it with his hand. Safety issue, penalty called. Kings have slowly got back into this game there at the last 5 minutes of the second period. Now a huge chance here, man advantage.
Kings are 0 for 1 tonight on the power play, and as Jim said, they got an advantage here to regain the lead. Kings win the draw, and here is Richards. Richards over to Gabrick. Gabrick down in deep. Kings on the power play, back up the middle. Richards shoots wide off the boards, and down into the corner. McCulloch goes for it. Still a bouncing puck, and cleared by the Coyotes right toward Quick, and he stops it there. Third period just underway with the game tied at 2, and the Kings with a man advantage. Here's Doughty to center. He drops it back to Kopitar, left side, taken there, and a pass by Richards to Carter to the blue line, but out of the reach of Doughty and back into the King zone. Doughty back in to get it. Hansel comes out to kill penalties for the Coyotes. He was the first man in the King zone. Now here's Doughty dropping it back over to Richards. Richards with it. Richards pass intercepted. Hansel has it. Gets it up to center ice, and it is thrown in deep by Korpikoski. Korpikoski to Hansel, and he almost had a pretty good chance at a shot there that might have sneaked by Quick.
Yeah, Quick had to get it off the shoulder. Otherwise, it's 3-2 Coyotes on a shorthander. And again, I mentioned it earlier, the Kings' huge priority yesterday in practice, working on the power play and the breakouts and those types of things. Not working yet here tonight. A little bit, I'm going to call it tentative by the Kings, not as crisp as you want to be, not necessarily with the passing, just moving the puck overall.
Here on the right side, into the zone. Stoll back to the blue line. Kings still on the power play. Martinez shoots, just deflected wide. Now a loose puck is gathered in by the goaltender, Dubnyk, with 22 seconds left to go in the King power play.
You know what you're going to get with Alec Martinez. He gets out on the power play and gets the shot on goal. Ekman Larsson, Bob, earlier on this penalty kill, just an interesting play. Watch this puck bouncing, then watch the control and confidence of Ekman Larsson here. It's going to go off his skate. Stick, he doesn't bat it. He bats it down first, then clears it. So that's a whole bunch of control, hand-eye. A lot of times players will just swing at it to try and clear it all in motion. He settled it down first, then cleared it down the ice.
Ekman Larsson has 6 shots through 2 periods tonight. That ties his career shots on goal in a game for the 9th time. Jim, you hear a lot in baseball, pitchers and catchers. Well, you know, who's got the timing? The hitters or the pitchers? What about power play in hockey?
Yeah, I think hard work is what it's about on the penalty kill. So you can kind of get by, I think, on penalty kills where, you know, the timing doesn't necessarily have to be there. It has a lot to do with energy. The power play usually has to do more with tactics, and that becomes timing and reading off a guy. But hey, we heard from Jeff Carter there when he talked with Patrick O'Neill earlier. This is the 9th game he feels they played, 7 in that preseason and now 2 in the regular season, and it's time to get things as far as the Christmas going. But 3 seconds remaining here, won't happen on this power play. But I do like the Kings playing a little bit better here of late. And I think it's going to be more in the offensive zone on the forecheck. We'll see if they can keep it going.
Coyotes get back at full strength and they clear it out to center ice. Here is Regehr moving it back into the Coyote zone. Stone back to play it. His pass bounced off of Sam Gagner. Coyotes still with it. They move it up on the right side. Here's Gagner. Across the line. Gagner tried to cut in the middle. He didn't get it. A rebound and a save by Quick, and then the rebound poked away.
It was the second save by Quick. Once again,
Kings back in the zone. Shot from the right side is wide and off the boards, and the play is whistled dead. Apparently it came up out of play.
So it's going to stay deep in the zone. So the power play maybe not sharp, but Jonathan Quick has been crisp. He's been sharp. He's been focused. He's tracking the puck. Now the first chance is dangerous, but watch the second one here. 1, 2. And it's the pad in behind that makes the save right there on David Moss. Moss had all the strength. He was a right-hander who was in the crease. Probably thought he had it. And against Jonathan Quick, that's when you lose. The moment you think you've got him beat is the moment he makes a save.
A lot of guys have thought that and haven't been able to score. Here's Carter on the faceoff now in the Coyote zone. And off the draw here, the Coyotes control it. Moved up to center ice, but overskated for a moment. Then Vermette drives it deep in the Kings zone. Kings control it and move it up ahead to the blue line. Not out yet. Now it is. Sent by McNabb up ahead to Foley. And it comes up out of play again.
It's going to be an icing bob here. That's what happened. Toffoli did not get the red line before he tried to get it in. So it's been back and forth, up and down as far as the effectiveness of the Kings, and Daryl Sutter looking on. Again, keep in mind, a big strength of this team, and they've proven it in the past, is when things aren't going right, and that's the way it's went against them tonight for the most part, they're able to maintain somewhat of a mental control of the game and try to find a way to bounce back. Big draw here, Carter against Vermette, 2 veteran guys.
Faceoffs are even right to this point, 25 apiece, and who's going to get this one? Kings control it. Back up to center. Here's Tanner Pearson. He's got a goal tonight. He's on the left wing. Pearson gets cut off, hangs on, gives it back to the blue line to McNabb, but taken away on his shot and cleared back into the Kings zone. Doughty chased by Doan. Doan stays with him, but Doughty gives it over to McNabb. McNabb up ahead to center to Pearson. Pearson sends it in deep. He's going to go off the ice. Kings in a line change, and the Coyotes move it up to center ice. Taken there, and a pass to Gagner. Gagner across the line, then a shot, knocked down, loose puck. Richards gets to the rebound and gets it to Nolan. Nolan up to center. He's battling there, and then it came to Richards, but taken away by the Coyotes. They tried to flip it in the zone. It hit one of the Kings. It comes back. It was Green that it hit. Coyotes again, and a shot and a save by Quick.
And it was Matt Green earlier, Bob, with a block shot when the Coyotes had penetration into the zone there with Gagner with some pretty good speed. Again, they're waiting for Gagner to kind of get things going. He has picked it up a couple times here in this game, but Matt Green, that's what he brings. He brings the ability to get you out of trouble by getting a block shot. And that was huge there because the Coyotes had 2 men looking for a puck, and Green made sure they couldn't get there.
Kings have blocked 5 shots. Arizona's blocked 12 in the game tonight. Just about 5 minutes gone here in the third period. Bob Miller along with Jim Fox. Thanks for joining us tonight. Game number 2 of the regular season.
Kopitar kicked out. Williams comes in against Hansel.
In the King zone, and Hansel wins the draw. Back to the blue line. Shot by Ekman Larsson. Knocked down. Loose puck. Picked up by the Kings. And Williams tried to control it. Couldn't do it. Coyotes took it away. They drive it in deep. Back behind the net. A hard check there by Robin Regehr, and the puck comes up to center ice. Kings across the line. Gabrick left side. Gave it on the left wing to Kopitar. Kings still trying to get a stick on it here in the Coyote zone, but Arizona controls it. 4.5 to go in the third period with the game tied at 2. In the Kings zone now. Picked up there by Gabrick. He shovels it up ahead to center ice. Williams sends it in deep, but the Kings are in a line change. Coyotes control and get it to center, but they misfire on the pass, and it's taken away by Jarrett Stoll.
I think the Kings are doing a better job at the lines here. They're keeping it going forward as much as possible.
Puck sent down deep behind the King net, chased in there by Alec Martinez. Martinez up ahead to center, and now on the right wing. Kings across the line. A shot from there by Brown is knocked down and back out to center, and a loose puck. Who's going to get there in time? Taken there by the Coyotes. Thrown down in deep by Crombeen into the corner. Then a sharp angle shot that is held against the side of the net by Jonathan Quick. So 13:40 to go in the third, and it is deadlocked at 2.
Well, you're a team like the Kings. You won 2 Stanley Cups in the last 3 years. How do you get better? Well, you get better from within. You have Carter. He's been around a long time, but you have guys like Pearson, Toffoli. Just another year of maturity to try to get better and have more impact on games. And certainly there you see they've had an impact in tonight's game. They're on the board for the Kings. The Kings have 2. The Coyotes have 2. And we're down here in the third period. This is an area Dave Tippett talked about last year for the Coyotes, their head coach, where he felt they played a lot of close games, but when they got down near the end, they just did not play as disciplined as he's wanted them to. The Kings want to see that continue here in this game.
Vermette won the draw. The Kings almost got to it, but overskated it. Now the Kings do get to it, and can they clear it? Out to center, not yet. And
it's a delayed offside, so they did. The linesman ruled that it did come out, and you see Vermette there. He wanted to play it, but he knew if he touched it, it would be an offside. And
Doughty was calling it.
And he was. Doughty calls just about everything. Well,
Vermette ready on the face-off now. As we said, he needs only 4 points for 400. He's had a great career in the NHL.
That's been the matchup tonight. Vermette against Carter and Hansel against Kopitar.
And Vermette won the draw. It's driven in. Doughty with it, but they don't clear. Yandel drives it wide of the net in the King zone. Picked up there by Doan. Doan's in his 19th season with this franchise. His 11th year as team captain. Down the right side is Pearson, and he gets stopped there along the boards, and the puck cleared up the center on the right wing to Doan. Shane Doan across the line. King zone. His pass broken up there and cleared back out to center ice. Shane Doan, 76 points, and this is 98th game against the Kings in his career. Into the King zone. Voynov back to get it. To the blue line, but held in by McCulloch. Taken away by the Kings, and Gabrick gets it to center to Kopitar. Kopitar at center with Williams on the right, Gabrick on the left. Down into the corner, Williams to Kopitar. Back to Williams. Williams looking, gives it back to the blue line to Regehr. Now to Kopitar. Kopitar on his backhand. Tried to give it to Williams, tipped away to the blue line. Held right on the line by Regehr, but taken away now and cleared up to center to Klinkhammer for the Coyotes. Kings would get it back again, over to Kopitar. Kopitar across the line, got hit by McCulloch. Now Voynov holds it in for the Kings, but it's taken away and cleared back to center. Coyotes with it, game tied at 2. Sabinek McCulloch sends it deep in the King zone. Voynov into the corner to get it. Puck taken away by the Coyotes now along the boards and tipped up in the air and out to center ice. Connor Murphy back to get it for the Coyotes. Puck sent deep into the King zone. Icing called against Arizona.
That's where the game has kind of turned into a little bit more of a conservative battle with each team not taking any chances. What's coming up for the Kings? Well, it is very important. Every game is, but of course, the Kings are at home basically here all the first month. Tomorrow, back-to-back. The Jets in town. Tuesday, the Oilers. Thursday, the Blues. So, Western Conference battles to start the season here for the Los Angeles Kings. And I guess you got to make hay when you have those home games early in the season.
Well, tomorrow's the start of a 6-game homestand for the Kings. So you're right. Start getting some points when you're at home. And the puck taken now by Korpikoski for the Coyotes. Rolls deep into the King zone with 11:25 to go in the third.
The Jets, Bob, one of those teams that are kind of a tough read to get on. You look at them and you see their skill. Of course, Paul Maurice is now their head coach. He took over last year, and maybe a turnaround that way. So a lot of interesting things going on with the Jets. Not necessarily picked to have a successful season, but they can throw a lot at you.
They got a guy that you like, and he's had 3 points in his first game here against the Coyotes, Blake Wheeler.
Yeah, just a big kid and a great skater. He skates similarly to, say, a Jeff Carter, where it's long and lanky. It doesn't look like he's going fast. You get down on the ice, he is.
Doughty kind of mishandled it there, and the Coyotes pick it up and into the corner. Taken now in the King zone. Dropped off there, and it is sent back down into the corner to Gagne. Gagne with some room, shoots, and it's tipped wide. And the Kings pick it up and clear it up to center ice. Falling down trying to get to it was Brandon McMillan. Puck back down into the King zone. Kings had a 2-0 lead. The game is now tied at 2. Up to center ice. Kings with it, cross the line. Here's Carter. Carter had it poke checked away and then cleared back to the blue line and then out to center ice. Mikkel Boedker. Bodker's got a goal tonight. His pass taken away. Kings don't clear. Boedker held it in, but now tipped away by Brown and picked up by Pearson. Pearson into the zone, down the slot, but he got checked there and couldn't get a shot.
Just wanted the last second to reach around and get the shot off.
Regehr shoots and a glove save by Devan Dubnyk in goal. So we're down to 9:49 to go in the third. We're still tied at 2. We'll be right back.
Yeah, talking with Daryl Sutter the other day at practice, just mentioning it's the Kings' lightest month, basically, but the back-to-back will come up tomorrow. Winnipeg again in Staples Center. And Daryl, he likes it at this point in the season because you're coming out of training camp, you're practicing all the time, you're doing, and that emotional level, everyone, you can only get that in games. And he said he loves it. He loves to have the back-to-back at this time of the season just to kind of get everyone back into that playing mode, which is sometimes very difficult when you go long, like the Kings have the last 3 years. So back-to-back tonight here in Glendale and tomorrow at Staples Center against the Jets.
7 o'clock game tomorrow night. We'll be on the air at 6:30. Toffoli with a shot blocked and back up to center ice. Coyotes come with a game tied at 2. Right side is Doan. Shoots and a save by Quick.
Block shot gets the Coyotes out of trouble, and Doan comes back with a shot of his own. Download the LA Kings app. You can download the LA Kings app to enter for your chance to win a limited edition championship custom guitar. There it is right there, signed by members of last year's Kings team. This is your only chance to win the ultimate collector's item to commemorate your champion Los Angeles Kings. So signed right there. Look at that guitar. You have a chance. So pick it up.
Face off in the King zone. It'll be Kopitar against Martin Hanzal. And the loose puck into the corner, and the Kings have it. Here is Doughty. Now Williams slaps it all the way down into the Coyote zone. It's wide of the net and then scooped up by the goaltender, Dubnyk.
That's one of those plays where it puts everyone in between because of the hybrid icing. Justin Williams, it was kind of a set play. Gabrick on the far side with speed. Just get it down there and then make the linesman make the decision. And Dubnyk found himself in no man's land. He said, well, I got to put my hand on this, otherwise I'm not going to be able to control the puck. And look at this. Look at how far that shot attempt, I'll call it. Now, again, the linesman's ruling that Gabrick's speed is going to get him there first.
Kings with it. Doughty with a shot deflected up high, and Coyotes send it along the boards, but the Kings take it away. Kopitar trying to get it to Williams. Coyotes intercept. Pass along the boards all the way down the King zone. Broken up there by McNabb. But now it comes in deep, but if it had been touched, they would have been offside, so Coyotes had to let it go. Was Klinkhammer now to center. Kings try a pass taken away by Martin Erat. But right in front of him to take it away was Doughty, but Erat gets it back again. Doughty gets it back. Clears it off the boards out to center ice.
Doughty playing defense with his feet there, with his legs. Getting in position first, then making contact.
Coyotes, Martin Erat. Sends it over now. Sent up to center ice on the right side. Taken by Sam Gagne. Gagne throws it in. Green goes for it. Green throws a check. Knocks Korpikoski down. Loose puck taken by Martinez. Moved it up the right side. Here's Jordan Nolan. Nolan trying to get around a check. He did, but the linesman got in the way. And the puck taken by the Coyotes. Connor Murphy. Now thrown in deep and gloved by Quick as it bounced toward the front of the net.
I mentioned that contact that Drew Doughty was on Erat. It wasn't a hard hit, but it's just one of those things where he keeps in motion. You see the turnover neutral zone. Look at Doughty. Skate, 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 then contact. He didn't even go after the hit. He just went after the neutralizing play where you slow down the puck carrier And that was probably, if Doughty goes for the big hit there, they're supporting the puck by the Coyotes because it was a turnover. And that's a read of the play that Drew has just about every single time. He makes the right read and makes the play.
Kings have only 16 shots in the game tonight. The Coyotes 36 right to this point. Well, the game is tied at 2. Puck bounces into the Coyote zone. They break it up and they get it back up to center. Overskated there, and Kings sent it right back in. It was overskated by Brandon McMillan. Back to the right point, held in by Voynov. His shot blocked into the corner by Yandel, but picked up by Brown. Now Brown lost it there, and it's chipped out to center ice and up high and batted out of play into the Coyote bench.
There's one where Voynov really has no other option. He's not necessarily looking for the whistle, but he's got it batted out of the air. Otherwise, the Coyotes are going to go in behind him. So you take the whistle, and you live with it because you just kind of slow down the attack of the Coyotes. Voynov been one of those guys I think has been sharp for the Kings tonight, especially going back for pucks. Back for pucks in his own zone. Get back there as quick as possible so you have more time once you do get there.
Coyotes win this draw, and cleared up ahead by Zbigniew Michalek down in the Kings zone. Picked up there, and a shot and a save by Quick on Hansel's bid. Now the Coyotes again. Rob Klinkhammer, he gets hammered into the boards there as the Kings don't clear it yet. Gabrick tried to, it bounced away from him, held in by Hansel, now picked up by Erat. Martin Erat. Erat back to the right point. Michalek sent it in deep. Klinkhammer. Now Erat reached for it, taken away by McNabb. He gets it up ahead to center. Kings come back working on a 3-on-2. Pass on the left side to Gabrick. Gabrick back to Kopitar. Kopitar right side and just shanked wide to the right. Held in by the Kings zone. Gabrick with it. Tried to give it to Kopitar. It was Doughty whose shot went wide. And the puck taken by Martin Erat.
That was by far the most dangerous attack the Kings have had here in a while, because it has been conservative here in the third period, both teams. And Doughty, you're right, Bob, he just kind of squibbed on it. He tried to lean on his stick but didn't get the puck.
Kings get it up ahead to Pearson. Tanner Pearson throws it in deep to Foley going for it, but icing call against the Kings.
So the Kings tried that long dump-in play again, but the Coyotes defenseman did get back. Hansel, he's a big man, and there's control by Jonathan Quick. A lot of players there with Hansel would have taken the puck behind the net. But under the circumstances, a tie game here in the third period, go there, go for the crash. And that was a great replay to see Jonathan Quick not moving at all. He's thinking about the puck. Seems obvious that what he should be doing. Well, sometimes you get distracted with other things. Make the first save first.
Yeah, Hansel, 6'6", 230. He was their #1 pick several years ago, 2005. Bodker and Doan. And Doan into the slot. Backhander just wide on the right side. Puck bounces up in the air in the King zone. Doan with it, tried to center it, batted away by Quick. Couple of dangerous plays there. And Carter without a stick, he gets one from the bench. Right side shot from there is wide and off the boards and comes up out of play.
It'll stay inside here. Again, the new rule this year, if it goes off of someone, I don't know if that was a King or a Coyote, but just create more offensive zone draws. Timing's everything, right? That puck came around. Jeff Carter didn't have a stick. As soon as it went by him, he got the stick off the bench. And that's a split second. The NHL is played in those milliseconds where if you're caught behind 1/2 second, it's going to cost you.
Another face-off in the King zone here with 6:08 to go in regulation. And on the draw, the Kings win the face-off, won by Richards. Cleared up ahead to the blue line to center, now to Clifford. Clifford ahead, down the middle, Richards shoots and a save, Dubnyk. Richards again. Richards hanging on, but it's tipped away from him out to center and covering up his Green. Matt Green gives it over to Martinez. Martinez back on the right side. Kings couldn't handle it. Comes into the King zone and played there, though, as the Kings do get it up now to Clifford. Clifford to center, bounces away from Richards. Now Green with a check there, and Richards back in to get it. 5.5 to go in regulation. Here's Kyle Clifford. Arizona zone. Jumps around a check, goes in to get it. Clifford gets it there, and a shot, and a save, sharp angle shot by Jordan Nolan. And Dubnyk knocked it away. Held in again, driven down in deep behind the net. Dubnyk moved it into the corner. Now the Coyotes get it back to the right side to Erat. Tipped into the King zone, and Quick covers this one up before Martin Hansel can get to it. 5:06 to go now in regulation. It's still 2-2.
Things still to be decided here in Glendale, but it's the Toyota game analysis. The Kings got on the board first. They had a 2-0 lead. That 70s line getting the job done. Bodker had 19 last year. His second goal of the season. Ekman Larsson continues to get the puck on net. Bodker, I say, is the most important man for the Coyotes. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting. 19 is okay, but can he break and have a career-breaking season where he just takes off to maybe a 25, 30-goal level? He has the speed, he has the hands. We'll see if he can come up with the consistency.
Stoll with Brown and King, the forward line for the Kings. Regehr and Voinov defensively. Face off in the King zone. And on the draw, the puck in the corner. Kings control it. They get it out to center ice and down into the Coyote zone. But this is going to be icing against the Kings, so they'll move it back into the King zone again.
Again, it's difficult to lock up on face-offs because of the hash marks so far apart nowadays. And that's where, again, if you win it cleanly, you got it. But if not, now the guy can't just skate in front of you. And that's what the NHL is hoping. They're hoping. They're going to monitor it to see what goes on. Hoping that creates more offense, and if not there, maybe more penalties because of interference.
Coyotes win this draw. They get it back to the blue line to Yandel. He drives it behind the net. Picked up there on the right side, and Vitale sent it through in front of the net, but the Kings take it away, but overskated. And the loose puck is held in by Yandel, left point. Puck driven wide of the net there, and the loose puck taken by the Kings. Get it up the left side to King. King moves it ahead now, and here's Brown. Brown on the right wing, into the zone. Brown pulls up, looks for someone, and sends it into the corner now to Stoll, but hopped over his stick. King picks it up and gives it to Stoll. Now to King. King looking, tried to get it over on the left side of McNabb. Held in there, and a nice play by Williams to hold it in.
Body position by Dwight King. Good job stripping the puck, using the body, creating a loose puck, and the Kings looking for some offensive opportunity. Now the Coyotes on the forecheck.
Joe Vitale sends it into the King zone. McNabb gets hit there, but he got a pass off on into the corner. Now the Coyotes drive it around the boards on the right side, and a battle for it there. Who's going to pick up the loose puck? Kings try to get a stick on it. McNabb has it for the Kings. He gets it over to Doughty. Doughty up the center. He's got Williams ahead of him. Doughty's still with it. Doughty stick handles, comes across the line. Left side, Doughty goes for it again. Sends it down into the corner. Gets some help now from Gabrick to Doughty. His backhand pass broken up there, but Gabrick comes back to get it. Gabrick drops it off to Kopitar. Kopitar now up the middle. Here's Doughty. He shoots. Save Dubnyk. Rebound Kings. Shot knocked down in front and covered by Dubnyk.
Well, it all started with Drew Doughty almost going 1-on-5. I mean, he took it. He went over the line. He kept it alive. He stayed there. And then just crashing to the net. Here's Doughty in the neutrals, and he's going to go all the way around. Then he goes through the middle. It's the most difficult area. Then he keeps it alive there. He doesn't really get possession, but he's able to kind of delay it long enough where he can get some help on the play. And then Doughty at the end. This is where the Kings had their best chance. Right here, you'll see Kopitar get a skate on it right there. And again, they've liberalized the rule this year of the skating, so if it kind of goes off that one, that would count. But it did not. We're still 2-2.
Now Carter on the face-off. He's got Pearson and Toffoli with him. Now Martinez. He shoots just wide. Rebound. Green pinching down the right side, but the Coyotes' Bodker gets to it. Puck comes to the blue line, but not out yet. Now it's chipped out to center with 3:09 to go. Third period. 2-2 the score. Puck taken by the Kings and cleared up ahead to center to Pearson. Pearson, his pass ahead. Down into the corner. Taken by Yandel. Yandel checked by Toffoli. Puck is cleared by the Coyotes back to center ice. Picked up there by Vermette. Moves it left side. Then a shot save. Rebound in front. And the Coyotes say they've scored, and they have. Doan in front, and with 2:47 to go, it's 3-2 Arizona.
The back referee's coming in. He's giving some signals, Bob. Look at Doan. He's unsure. Now you can go after the puck when it's in the crease. But was there contact? Was there those things? Doan felt he got it cleanly. Now, of course, things are reviewable, but contact is not. Meaning contact with a goaltender. It's going to be waved off. I think they're going to give Doan a penalty for interference.
Yep.
Doan went in backwards. And that's what kind of created it. So the shot, rebound, watch Doan. Oh, he pushes. That's what he does. He shoves Jeff Carter. That is in the rule book. You cannot shove a defending player. Look at Yeah, Carter is stopped, and then he's shoved from behind. Great look there, guys, from high above. Gila River Arena. Dave Tippett gets the explanation. So you don't have to make direct contact with the goaltender. The rule book also states you cannot shove a defender onto the goaltender, and that's what happened there. Now, you like the hunger of Doan. He's got to go after that puck, but you can't go through a guy to get there. What a turnaround. The puck did go over the line. Doan did get it, but it's no goal. And the reverse is the Kings have the man advantage.
That came with 2:47 to go in regulation, and we're still tied. Kings win the draw. They get it to Richards at the blue line. He shoots, and a save by Dubnyk, and right in front of him was Carter.
That's what the Kings need right here. Assertive, decisive play. Mike Richards just gets it in. Jeff Carter and him have that telepathy where they can kind of sense what's going to go on. Got to take advantage of this situation. It's right here at the end of the game. You're almost behind the goal. And this is one of the what to watch for is the power play, the penalty kill.
And Carter gives it over to Gaborik. He shoots, just tipped into the corner. Kings with it again. They're 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Here's a great chance. See if they can win the game in the closing moments. Puck is along the boards, and nobody's been able to get a stick on it yet. Now they do. The Kings get it to Richards. Richards turns. He gives it in front to Carter, and his shot knocked down. Gaborik had it, gave it to Carter, and the puck cleared by the Coyotes.
No one wanted to shoot that one, and they had a couple guys open. I can understand what's going on there, but we'll see if the Kings can be a little bit more simple by getting the puck to the net.
2 minutes to go in regulation. Kings with a man advantage. Here is Richards. Richards sends it around to Carter. Carter let it go to the right point to Doughty. Doughty back into the right wing corner. Now pass to Carter. Carter cuts behind the net. Carter still with it. Hangs on to it. His pass across the ice, played off the boards by Kopitar. Kopitar to Carter. Shoots and a save. Big save by Dubnyk. A one-timer by Carter. And the puck cleared into the Kings zone.
That's execution. I know Dubnyk had the big save, but the breakout was absolutely perfect by the Kings. And then you get Carter in the middle with a shot. That's what you want.
40 seconds to go in the King power play. Coyotes try to break it up, and they do. They get it back into the King zone. Quick leaves it there with 1:19 to go in regulation. 2-2 the score. Kings with a power play for another 28 seconds. Back to center they come. And across the line, getting knocked down there, and the puck comes back out to center ice. Back into the King zone. Williams had been knocked down at the blue line. Now the Kings have it again back across the line. Brown tried to send it in deep. Broken up there. Coyotes with it. 8 seconds to go in the Coyote penalty. They clear it to center. Kings take it away in the neutral zone. They get it to Stoll. Stoll moves it over left side. Drop back to Williams. He shoots. Blocked. Williams again. Coyotes back at full strength. Puck taken by Brown. His shot behind the net. Taken away by the Coyotes. And they tried to clear to center, maybe into the Kings zone, but it hit one of the Kings and is picked up by the Coyotes. 32 seconds to go in regulation. Puck comes into the King zone. Here's Doan, right side. Doan into the corner. He gets checked there. Pearson picks it up. He got hit from behind by Bodker, but he maintained his balance and got it over to Toffoli. Now the Kings, 18 seconds to go in regulation. They get it on the right side. Toffoli cutting in. Toffoli in front. He can win the game, and a save by Dubnyk. Dubnyk with a big save on Toffoli, who tried to win the game in the final seconds. 3 seconds to go now, and the puck cleared to the blue line, and that's the end of regulation. What a finish to the first 60 minutes of this game.
Yeah, the Kings have their best chance of the period. It comes in the last 10 seconds. Toffoli tried to go and open up the goaltender, tried to slide it between the pads. Nice play by King. Can't be any better than that one. Now watch Toffoli. Dubnyk's been asked to be more aggressive but stay deep, and that's what he does here. It's kind of an oxymoron, aggressive and deep, but he does so. Establish the position, then just uses his size, and when he comes across, he keeps that stick between his legs. Otherwise, that opens up. Now Lula coming at you. Toffoli has on his mind to throw it back against the flow, and you see the pads there, the stick there, and we're going to go to OT. Again, the new rule, dry cut here. The ice will be better. Kings and Coyotes battling here in Glendale. We're going to overtime. Shane Doan thought he had the winner late in the third period, but he was whistled off for the goaltender interference in the crease, not because of contact directly with the goaltender, because of the push and shove. You see Carter, he's dead stopped here. Doan comes in from behind, not a big shove, but he causes Carter to be shoved into Quick. Then he gets his stick on it, thought he had the winner. Now there has been no rule change this year, Bob, in that situation. But what referees have been asked to do this year, instead of focusing on the puck over the line, well, that's reviewable. So you don't have to do that. They're being asked to focus on contact situations around the crease. And that time, that's what happened right there. It was the back referee, the referee that was in the neutral zone, that made the call. He was focusing on that, saw the contact, and disallowed the goal.
And that came with only 2:47 left to go in regulation, and Doan still shaking his head over it, but it was the right call, and we're going to overtime. In overtime, first overtime of the regular season for each of these teams. Last year, the Kings, 20 overtime games. They were 12-2-6. That includes the shootouts. In the overtime, actual overtime last year, Kings were 4-2.
Now you have here, Bob, you switch ends, so that creates the long change period again. When you have the long change, there's a potential for more mistakes, and what the NHL is hoping, more goals. You have the scrape of the ice, so it gives everyone a better chance to handle the puck. Then, of course, you don't have to submit shooters going into the shootout, those types of things. They don't have a cut after the overtime if you go to the shootout.
So it comes up in a hurry. You got to be ready for that. All of a sudden, they're in and away on the shootout.
We thought the Kings were going to carry it on here because of the start. Now, again, the Coyotes had a lot of territory and puck possession, but the Kings did get off to a 1-0 lead. Carter keeps it alive. Stolen, though, finally by Pearson, and then far side, top corner, quick hands, 1-0 Kings. Then Toffoli with pressure creates a loose puck. Pearson drives to the net. Carter with a wrist shot. Dubnyk gets a piece, but not enough. So it's 2-0 in a period where the Kings maybe have been outplayed territorially. Matt Green cannot clear on the penalty kill, and you know what's going to happen. You just know. Vermette picks the puck out of the air. The shot by Yandel, and the Coyotes get back within one. Yandel with a pass. Bottker with a breakaway. Over the pad, under the blocker. That's where you're going right there. The third period was a little bit more conservative. Both teams weren't taking chances, but Tyler Toffoli had a chance last 10 seconds to win it. Dubnyk with another big save. And that's why we're going OT.
Kings will start with Carter and Toffoli up front. And they will have Doughty back on defense along with Martinez. Vermette is out. Bottker, Yandel for the Coyotes as we have a 4-on-4 skating situation here in the face-off at center ice. It'll be Carter against Vermette. And Carter wins the draw. Sudden death overtime here at Arizona. Here is Carter, feeds it left side, cutting in a shot by Martinez and a save and a rebound. Cleared out to center by the Coyotes, but coming back to take it away is Toffoli.
Toffoli gets the first shift of overtime along with Carter. Then you have Doughty and Martinez. I'm assuming that McNabb's still okay to play, but Daryl Sutter going to the veteran guy here in OT.
Dropped off left side, shot in front, save, rebound. Shot there is deflected wide, the shot by Toffoli.
Toffoli thought he had it again for the second time. Martinez has been very aggressive. I know it's only the first shift of overtime, but twice he's been involved with shots. Then the second chance, Toffoli going over top.
Here's Doughty, right side, fakes a shot, still has it. Doughty in deep, behind the net. Hangs on, drops it off now to Kopitar, who's come on the ice. Kopitar, he gives it to Gaborik. Gaborik sends it in deep. Dubnyk, the goaltender, breaks it up and moves it around the left side and the puck out to center. The Kings hustle back to get it again. Regehr. Deep in the King zone. Now pass up ahead to Kopitar. Kopitar hanging onto it. Brings it up to center in overtime. Kopitar down the right side. Kopitar driving in deep. Pulls up. Back up the middle. Voynov shoots up high. Now it's out to the left side. Held in again by the Kings. Puck comes around to Gaborik. Gaborik, right corner. He's checked there and pinned along the boards, and the puck taken away by the Coyotes, and they get it over to Martin Hanzal. First time they've had it to bring it up to center. Taken now across the line, and the Kings back to try and break it up. They don't. It comes over to Doan. Doan behind the net. Doan still with it. Hangs onto it, throws it in front, broken up by the Kings, and they move it up ahead to Voynov, and now Richards going for it. He didn't get it. but at center ice, Kings pick it up and get it over to the youngster Braden McNabb.
McNabb was not on there earlier, but now he's out there along with Doughty, his normal partner.
Williams, right wing. His shot is just wide. Rebound into the corner. Poked back toward the back of the net and taken by Yandel.
Yandel and Ekman-Larsson, Doughty, those types of players. Martinez, the defenseman at OT, 4-on-4.
Here's Yandel to center with Gagne. Tries to give it to Gagne. Gagne left side. Throws it around the boards. Picked up by McCulloch. McCulloch in the corner. His shot goes behind the net. Kings dig it out. Pass up ahead by Stoll to center ice. And an icing call coming up against the Kings.
Justin Williams is asking perhaps for a touch of the puck here on the attempted pass, and that would neutralize the icing, but he's asking around, and he's not going to get it, so the faceoff will come deep. Again, icing, you can't make changes here, and again, another rule change. The centerman has to come in here and take this draw. You can't buy time anymore. So it'll be Stoll against Vermette.
In the King zone on this faceoff, and Stoll wins the draw. Gets it to Doughty. 2:20 to go in overtime. 2-2 the score. Doughty's pass up ahead to Jarrett Stoll. Stoll on the right wing. Stoll shoots on a save by Dubnyk. Rebound picked up by Vermette. Here's Vermette for Arizona. Vermette across the blue line. Hangs on. Tried to give it to Ekman-Larsson. Came back to Vermette. He held it onside. Gets it again. Vermette right side. Shoots and a save by Quick with the rebound. Kings quickly get it up the right side to Brown. Brown into the zone. Brown protecting the puck. Can't get a shot. Gives it back out to the blue line and out to center. It was out of the reach there of Voynov, who goes back to pick it up.
I've seen a couple of examples already, Bob, where that long change is causing trouble for the teams. And again, all you need is that split second. You get into a bad change, and the other team's going to have the counterattack.
Yandel back in to get it. Gave a D-Rat back to Yandel. Minute 25 to go in the overtime. Kings break it up there, but don't control it. Now a centering pass and a shot hit the side of the net by Hansel. Oh, he had Quick down on the ice.
And there's going to be a penalty, though. Hansel was reaching around and trying to get there. He couldn't do so. So if there's a good type of penalty to take, it's here by Tyler Toffoli. He got his stick into the hands, I believe, of Hansel. And that's the reason for the penalty. Hooking is the call. So just keep it alive, keep it alive. It'll end up in behind Martinez, and that's where the trouble happens. But watch on the putback right here. It's coming in from, there it is, yeah, into the hands. If you get stick on stick there, you can be okay. But Toffoli doesn't. Then there's just a couple of battles for pucks. You get a good look at it coming right here. There it is. Watch this. Into the hands. Low to high is good too, but you've got to get stick. And Toffoli wasn't happy with the call, but you saw into the hands. Anytime you do that, that one was a little bit more visible than others because of Hansel just kind of coming through. So timeout called here. Rest your players. Coyotes want to diagram it. They want the 2 points. The Kings want them too. 119 power play, but it's a 4-on-3 power play. And usually you're looking for one-time shooters. And that's what the Coyotes have been looking for. The Kings look like veterans. Shot blockers. Regier, Green, Stoll will be out there to take the draw.
Well, I want to thank our statistician tonight, Juan Taez, and our stage manager, Beth Potman, here in Arizona tonight. Arizona 1 out of 3 on the power play, and they've got a minute 19 now with a man advantage here in overtime.
They've got both of their offensive defensemen, Yandel and Ekman-Larsson out there. Doan, King Killers up front. Vermette taking the draw. Last time this happened, Stoll won it.
4-on-3 power play. They win the draw to Yandel. Yandel walks the line, has it, feeds it down the right side. In overtime, back to Yandel. Keith Yandel hanging on, feeds it right side to Vermette. And then tipped away as they try to get it back to Vermette. And it's tipped out to center ice by Regier.
Doan's going right to the front of the net. That's all he's worried about. Try to create some traffic in front. Let the other guys, the danglers, do the job. Kings should have a chance to get it out here. Whoa!
They had it on a stick and it rolled away from Green, and the Coyotes keep it alive. Back to the point to Yandel. Yandel hangs on. 44 seconds to go in overtime. Yandel with it. Top of the slot to Vermette. He shoots. It's wide. Rebound off the boards taken by Doan. Doan tried to give it back to Vermette. 34 seconds to go in overtime. Pass over to Yandel. Back to Vermette. Vermette keeps it alive. He gives it back over to Yandel. Keith Yandel. Top of the slot. Yandel hangs on. Feeds it right side. Shot from there. And a save in the shot. And the puck is picked up by the Coyotes again. Down into the corner. Now back top of the circle. Shot. Score! They win it in overtime. Ekman Larsson wins the game for the Coyotes in overtime. Oh, wait a minute. Are they going to wave this off now? Let's see.
I think they're just keeping the Coyotes from getting involved in the play. The puck's in the net. Goal's going to count. And the Coyotes will celebrate. The Kings had a chance to get it out earlier, but the puck was coming along the boards. When that happens, there's so much spin on the puck that it almost zips off your stick as soon as it hits that. The Kings were getting some block shots, but then the man of the moment, Ekman Larsson, who has been just a force in this game, he just takes control. Look at the battle in front with Doan and Green. Doan went to the front. Does he create issues? Yes, he does. Oh, yeah. Great look there, guys. Because you could see that the position of Doan, I talked about it earlier, he had one thing on his mind, go to the front. Ekman Larsson has his head up, so he can see the screen, he can see the lane, he gets it through. Not only was Quick screened on the play, but he couldn't come out to meet the shooter because of that traffic. There's a little bit of the aftermath. That's what was happening. Doan and Stoll with a cross-check, then Doan with a slash. And the referees were trying to make sure the Coyotes did not enter that and make it more serious than it was. Coyotes win it in overtime.
Well, Ekman Larsson then as a career high for shots on goal in a game. That would have been his 7th. Coyotes win at 3-2. They have 39 shots, the Kings 27. Coming up next is a special day with the Cup, but Kings Live.